Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U here in Tampa. Just got done watching the Buccaneers training camp, day 15. Early start for the Buccaneers. Early start for me. I left Miami around 3:30 in the morning, but glad to be here watching former Hurricanes Rueben, Bain, Keionte Scott, Al-Quadin Muhammad, and even Elijah Roberts. And just good watching these guys. They're all getting geared up for the second preseason game. They're going to face the Chiefs on Saturday. And good news for Miami fans, good news for Buccaneers fans, as Rueben told me after practice, he plans on playing in the game. It'll be his first preseason game, first time in the Buccaneers uniform. He's not sure how much he's going to play, but he's certainly excited. When I asked him about it definitely got the big smile about it. So, and it's just good seeing Rueben, good seeing all these guys taking the next step, kind of following their journeys. That's why I wanted to be up here. Kind of heard a lot of good things about how things were going with these guys. And you know, with Rueben, and you know, maybe if you haven't seen it, but earlier this week they posted a video of him working out after practice. I saw it today, about 30 minutes by himself on the sleds, just working on some leverage things. You know, he talked about that and some other things. More information will be on a VIP article on InsideTheU.com with my conversation with Rueben. But you know, just watching him go through the drills, and you know, there's little things that stand out to me that you know I've seen in years past, but just the professional approach to each drill and each rep. But also, you know, he's kind of leading the pack, or one of the first guys jogging to the next drill. Other guys might be walking and whatnot, but Ruben's approach to the game, it's evident in just watching him today in practice. Again, they're just in shorts and shells, but not in full pads. But you know, going through those drills and watching him go through different kinds of drills too. I thought it was a fun drill. I kind of watched the pass rushers go through an offensive line, kind of a dummy drill. It's the dummy with the arms, you know, the lineman arms, and then they go to the regular pad as well. So a lot of different things. Or there was another drill where they put the pads real close together, working on some moves, some tight spaces moves there. Or you know, watching another one, kind of some inside-out stuff that they're working on with the defensive linemen. So just good watching Rueben go through it. I think he's fitting in great, and just watching it again just today. But I heard one of the coaches kind of some sort of inside joke about Bain, and kind of hollering to the group, and you can see there's a lot of respect given to him, just the way he interacts with the other guys as well. So, and he's out here to prove a lot. You know, just his approach to everything. It's not surprising to see him stay after. Saw him do that a lot at UM with Coach Jason Taylor, and those two. He said they still talk. You know, he still gets advice from Coach Taylor, and really is appreciative of the coaching he got for 3 years under Coach Taylor, and really helping him prepare for this. So I think it's going to be a great season for Rueben. He understands. He even said, you know, asked him how training camp's been going in general. He said there's been ups and downs, and he's just trying to really take an approach of really putting the previous days in the past, or the previous plays in the past, and continuing to work towards the next play, or the next day of practice, or the current day, whatever he said, you know, being where his feet are type of mentality. So I think that's a good approach for all these guys, especially rookies, kind of making this adjustment. But again, Rueben seems to be doing well here. I like the defensive scheme that they have him in. I think you can see Rueben, even saw him drills, you know, stand up a little bit. Also saw him in his 4-point stance that he did such a great job at UM. So, you know, I think it's going to be a good fit. You know, you just kind of watch him. And I know a lot of people watching this might be Rueben Bain fans, University of Miami fans, obviously. And, you know, maybe they're not in tune with the Buccaneers, but I think a lot of people are going to tune in to the Bucs this year because of Rueben, the impact that he could make, expected to make, not just this year, but just kind of moving forward throughout his career. Another thing with the drills and watching him and stretching, he's alongside Al-Quadin Muhammad quite a bit. And, you know, I asked Rueben about that relationship, and he didn't know him before they got here. Even, you know, Muhammad is a former Hurricane from years ago, and so they've been developing a bond. He's called it a brotherhood, kind of, and Al-Quadin's done a good job of kind of being a vet to Rueben and helping him. And Al-Quadin, you know, he's coming off a career year with the Lions, the 11 sacks. So he's got an opportunity here with the Buccaneers to continue that pass rushing ability. And, just watching him go through drills is good to see. I remember posting the video of him at his pro day at Miami years ago. You could still, if you want to check it out, definitely check that out on the InsideTheU channel. But again, just watching a player go through their careers and their journeys, and when he first arrived at Miami and to where he is now, year 9, I think it is, in the NFL. So good to see Al-Quadin. And then Keionte Scott. I had a chance to talk with him as well. You'll see another VIP article on the website. Good conversation with him. And one of the things he said, I want to definitely point this out before I forget, but I told him about, just the impact he kind of made in a year, and the fan base, and how much everybody appreciated his style of play and his approach to it all in just one season. Really gained a lot of fans in his 1 year at UM. And he said he feels it even now. He said that at the joint practice with the Jets, the preseason practice, a lot of Miami fans were there and letting him know that they were being supportive of him, and he thought that was great. He did say too he wishes he would have been at Miami, his whole time and throughout his college career. But anyways, just watching him, talking to him, watching him go through some drills. I think he's a guy, maybe some special teams work. Maybe if he can kind of get on that. He's trying to learn from some veterans out here in the secondary. Speaking of secondary, he's excited about the Miami secondary this year. Pointed out a lot of different guys. Again, you'll see what he had to say in that article. But a guy like O.J. Frederick, he's certainly excited for. Thinks he can do big things. But, just watching Keionte kind of adjust, to this next level, kind of fit into this defense and how they'll use him. If it's going to be truly in a nickel spot, or they're going to put him outside a little bit. I think, to me, even though he played nickel at Miami, I think he's got the potential. I think he can be an outside guy if given the opportunity, if he continues to work on his skills to be an outside guy, depending on if the Buccaneers want to use him there. But I certainly think that's a possibility with him. And then Elijah Roberts, I didn't watch him too much, but again, just a guy watched in high school, kind of come through the journey a couple years at Miami, then off to SMU. And then another guy I had a chance to watch was Jack Pyburn, a guy that has created a lot of buzz. He was out here at practice. He is, if you haven't followed the situation, it's very confusing, even to me, just about his situation, other players, that have essentially trying to have an option to go back to college, even though they're here with the professional team. So watching Jack, he was a guy Miami recruited back in the past, and we'll just have to see. But again, he was out here today. I watched him. So we'll see how that situation shakes out. But just overall, really good seeing these guys. This is and I understand you guys are really excited about Rueben and Keionte in particular because of everything they got and did last year, Rueben over his career. So certainly good to see these guys, and looking forward to seeing how they do preseason game, but regular season as well. So also too, great facility here. And shout out to the Buccaneers PR staff helping out, kind of helping me out, kind of get some content. So this is good. But I'm going to get back to Miami, another long drive, and also training. Fall camp is going on there, so definitely want to get back and follow the Hurricanes. But thanks for watching this video. How excited are you about Rueben, Keionte, Al-Quadin, and then in the Bucs? Or how much you can be paying attention really to this rookie class? But thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day, and take care.